I have interviewed this author a few times in the past and we always have a great old chat. She's back with loads of news from me. It's Waterford native Karen Power. Karen, how are you?
Oh, Mary, hi. I'm great. Thank you very much for having me on today. I'm delighted. It's
always a joy to have you back in. Karen, the last time I was talking to you, I think on Butterfly Wings, which was a follow-up to Butterfly Barn, had been published. Am I right in saying all that?
You are indeed, yes. On Butterfly Wings, I had hit the Irish Times bestsellers list and I was completely on a buzz and you had me on. It was great to talk about it. It's been 3 years now, and
hardly 3 years.
3 years. Oh my God! And in that 3 years, Mary, it's just been chaotic and fun. But writing time has been limited from all that chaotic and fun.
That happens. Karen, for people not familiar with you and what you do and everything, tell us a little bit about yourself, just to kind of set the scene here.
Okay. Well, I suppose firstly I started in the travel business back at 18, and I did that for 20 odd years. Mary, sold holidays happily, sending people out of the country. And then Sean Power, I remember Sean from Harvey Travel, started to bring cruise liners in. And I realised, oh my God, look at all the beauty that we have on our doorstep. And so actually my first character was based on a person called Grace, who brings cruise liners into Waterford in my head, but I made it a fictitious place called Bayrush.
So you were writing from experience?
Yeah, I was kind of pulling from what I knew and what I love. And I suppose for me, Waterford is the hidden gem. We have everything. We have the mountains, the sea, the history. And I suppose I started to really appreciate it at that point, I didn't really know then that I was, I suppose, thinking that way. I didn't really think I'd ever use it in a book at any point.
And was writing always native to you? Like even when you were young and that, were you always into it?
I was into it. I was a big reader. Yeah. I'd read everything, anything I could find. I remember being in Dad's wardrobe going, we're finding all these books that Jean Emile, all these kind of, Wilbur Smith, anything at all I would read. And I loved it. And I suppose I realise now, Arthur Haley, I realise now that the travel thing was definitely somewhere always in me, travel, other people's lives, other people's experiences, that kind of thing, really tapped into my creativity and that.
And you've done what a lot of people, aspire to do but find very hard to achieve, which is have books published. I mean, it's any writer's dream, and it's a lot harder to do maybe than people realise. So, I mean, you are successful in your field.
Well, I'm very grateful for that, because what happened was I'm not young.
Well, you look young, Karen.
So what when I started to write, it was through tragedy, to be honest, Mary, because I was writing, say, years ago. I'd fun essays and that, and I remember my sister met my English teacher in Spain one time, and she said, has Karen written the book? And my sister said, what book? And she said she'll write a book.
Wow.
And when I heard that, I remember feeling, oh my God, my English teacher said that.
Isn't it amazing how one statement of confidence in you can actually really shape your future? Somebody just saying something like that can make you think, oh, actually, I can do this. Yeah. In the same way, unfortunately, that a negative statement can have the same effect.
Yeah. And I remember Yvonne said to me, you can. She said, you tell a great story. And I've seen that's a big difference now to, telling a story, to writing a book. But I think when your family support you and believe in you, it really, really, it helps. I think it's a very positive thing.
Now, you are here to talk to me about some workshops at Curraghmore, which I'm excited about, and we are going to get on to. But when you say the last 3 years have been chaotic.
Yes.
How?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I work out, firstly, I suppose, because when I wrote Butterfly Barn and on Butterfly Wings, in particular Butterfly Barn, it was about two things that happened in my life that had a huge effect on me. And one was the loss of our twin baby boys in pregnancy. And I remember thinking the silence around pregnancy loss is, it's deafening, actually, how silent it is. And I remember thinking how, people said to me, because I was in the travel business, I would be in work and they'd say, oh my God, what did you call the twins? And I'd be, well, I'm sorry, it didn't,
That's so hard to tell people in that situation. And everybody meaning the best, but asking you the same questions. And
just because holidays are a yearly thing, or, they expect that you have the babies. And I remember not being able to cope with it, and so for me I had to find a way to cope with it. So I went and did a psychology course, and as part of psychology courses, as many people know, and as parts of lots of communications and personal effectiveness courses, they ask you to journal. And when I started to journal, I thought, did I write that? It was like a stream of consciousness writing, and all this stuff coming out of me, and I felt better for the effort of sitting down and maybe just writing about how I really feel, and then not having to share that with anybody else. Feel like, is that really how I feel? Oh, I'm not going to share that, burn it. But when I started to write, I just thought, oh my God, like imagine, I've always wanted to have long curly red hair. My cousin had long curly red hair.
I was only talking about long red curly hair the other day, because someone was saying their sister has long red curly hair and she dyes it and keeps it straight blonde.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so everyone wants what they don't have.
This is it, and I have dark straight hair, very straight hair. I actually put curlers in it and it never works. So anyway, I just thought, imagine to create a character and give the character some of the issues that I felt, and it kind of separates yourself from it. So it's like you're giving it to somebody else. And then also that, most people thankfully have a best friend. So this best friend character came, and that was Grace. And Grace became the lady who brought the cruise liners in, and Jessie became the character who lost the babies
with the red curly hair.
With the red curly hair, and she became that character. And it was kind of like I could nearly analyse Jessie through Grace's eyes. So it opens up your thinking to write like that. So I started to kind of I thought it would be a short story, and then I couldn't stop, Mary. I just couldn't stop. I just kept writing, and then I wrote the first book, the second book, the third book. Now, that's what I was calling them. I thought they were books, right? But when I looked into the whole writing thing, they're just simply first drafts. That's it. They're not books. They're just first drafts, and they need a lot of work, and you need a lot of mentorship, and you need to appreciate the whole editing process. So what I suppose I'm doing with the creative writing courses is sharing how you can develop, the story is the story, but to make that story worth reading at a publishable level, you need to understand editing. And you need to understand, Stephen King's line is, to write is human, and to edit is divine.
Can I ask, do you have an editor?
I do.
Should every writer who wants to publish have an editor?
Needs an editor.
So you can't really edit yourself, do you think? Or are you better off get another eye?
No, here's the thing now, right? That you need to learn the editing skills so that you can edit yourself so it's sharp before it gets to the editor.
Okay, so you pre-edit.
Okay, right. Yeah. So because otherwise, editors can cost anywhere between 35 and €50 an hour. Right. So if your book is not in some sort of shape, or if your writing isn't in some sort of shape, like nobody can afford that. That's like the editor's writing the book, do you know? And also you need to be very clear about it, because you're the writer, so it has to be your voice. So a good editor will never change your voice, because that's very, very important. I remember listening to Maeve Binchy. When you listen to Maeve Binchy,
the late great Maeve Binchy, what a fabulous person she was. Yeah,
it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But she's like, her characters, you can hear her voice in her characters, and to me, that's important, that you can. It's not some editor's book; it's Maeve Binchy's book that's guided and edited, so there's a whole process, and I want to share that process with people. There's beta readers, there's beta readers.
What are they?
Now they're the people that you have to find and ask them to read your book and give you the brutal, honest opinion.
I'd love that.
Look at you, Mary.
I'll be a beta reader.
Would you be a beta reader for my next book?
Yes, so. I'd love that. Yeah.
So what they do is that they give you some feedback then about, like, say your plot could be going along, And sometimes a lot of writers get distracted, me included, with the subplot. So the subplot becomes nearly bigger than the plot because you get so excited with these new subplot characters. So yeah, it's like you can't see sometimes the wood from the leaves from the trees, you know, or whatever.
So Curraghmore.
So
what a setting for workshops.
Yes.
Give us the dates first.
So the dates are the 15th of June. Saturday the 15th of June is the first one-day workshop. There's another one then, if say that date doesn't suit you, there's Friday the 12th of July, and that's part of the Curraghmore Wild Festival, which I'm delighted about because, again, Waterford, and all the beautiful things that we have. And then Sunday the 11th of August is the last date. And that's, again, I kind of chose specifically to be Saturday, Friday, Sunday, because I'm a mother and I know what it's like with all the matches and, you know, all the activities, that if one day doesn't suit you, maybe another day will, you know.
And you were telling me off air that the places are limited enough. You can accommodate 12 per session.
12 per session, yeah, they're very limited. But the lovely thing is that I decided the day is long now. It starts at 9 and ends at 5, which is kind of longer than usual training dates, because sometimes training times they finish around 4ish because people get a little bit exhausted, right? But what I wanted to have is a special little treat in the middle of it, that we would have a tour of Curraghmore House.
Oh, wow, great
private
idea.
Tour of the house inside, so it'd be lovely.
And are the workshops on within the house?
Now they are.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
This is the other
Okay.
lovely thing, because the tea rooms are open to the public. But when I was invited to do this by them, which was a really honour, I think, I'm thrilled about it because it is a private estate. They said to me, would I like to use the staff halls? So can you imagine upstairs, downstairs, Mary? So we're downstairs in the staff halls, right? Downton Abbey style, right? And we've the long bench. We're working away down there. Then we go up and we have a tour of the house, and then we have lunch served, and then we're back to our writing again. And then at 5 o'clock, the course will end, and people can stay in the estate and, you know, spend some time under a tree or sitting in the grass, tapping into their creativity.
Just so Jane Austen as well, isn't it? Oh my God, it's
I'm
great.
so excited about it.
Now, the Book Centre have been a great help to you as well.
They have indeed. The Book Centre are delighted to be involved, and they're going to give a goodie bag to everybody. And we
lovely.
won't let on what's in the goodie bag.
It'll be a nice surprise on the day. But I have to say the Book Centre are fantastic.
They're fantastic
to support writers and aspiring writers and everything
You know,
else.
It's wonderful, the whole thing.
What if people want to get on the course? Any of the 3 dates?
Any of the 3 dates.
Are there places left?
There are places left on the 3 dates. How they'll get in touch with me is email karenpowerauthor@gmail.com, and I can send them the link to my website and where they can book onto the workshop.
I presume you're advising people to book ASAP.
Absolutely, because at this point it wouldn't be a case of leaving it to the last minute, because at this point, without even much talking about it, I suppose I'm a great chatterbox, Mary, as you know.
Which we love, by the way, on radio. You're the best radio guest.
What we do, I'm telling people about, like, say for example, my sister and a few friends said, I want to go on that. I don't want to write a book, but I want to tap into my own creativity, and just I want to kind of spend some time maybe journaling and in a beautiful place, and what better place to be inspired? So
Absolutely. We're out of time, Karen. You might just give the dates again on your own
yes,
Gmail
I will indeed.
address.
It's Saturday the 15th of June, Friday the 12th of July, Sunday the 11th of August, and contact karenpowerauthor@gmail.com. So thanks a million, Mary. Now, it's been great to chat to you.
Yeah,
as always.
and great to see you again, and all happening at Curraghmore House. Karen, what a lovely
Brilliant.
idea. Best of luck with it all, and thanks a million.
Thanks a million, Mary.